No, I'm not spying on them all the time.
There's a lovely incident where one of your, I'm forgetting her name now, she was having an argument with her husband because she wanted to come over to be part of your course. And then you told her, now just shut up and go to sleep and stop arguing with your husband. The telephone rang and you just told her to go to sleep and stop arguing with her husband. And she was in an entirely different geographical place to where you were.
The neighbors must have called me. To save themselves from my disciple, no. See, the thing is just this, it's not the argument that I know of. It is just that once you initiate somebody into something, it's more like to put it in modern terms, it's more like a repository of things are with you. If they hit a real bottom, you know. If they hit the peak, for sure you know. You set this up not because you're watching out for their bottoms, I'm not interested when they go down to hell. I'm interested if they get enlightened, I must know. Because I planted seed and if it flowers, I must know. It is in that interest I keep everybody on the tap, hoping that tomorrow morning somebody will blossom somewhere. But unfortunately, even when they hit the bottom, I become aware. I set this up mechanism within myself, hoping that when they really blossom, I shouldn't miss it. Such a great happening, she's not to be missed, that is why this is set up. But you know, it's like a warning mechanism. If the highest intensity does it, the lowest thing also does it.
Not that one understands the mechanism either, still, no?
Do you understand the microphone that you're using? Do you know how exactly it works?
No.
Then? When you have no issue holding it and using it, even if you do not understand, what's the problem with the guru, I'm saying?
My question is regarding your schedule. I've been hearing from some of the volunteers how you travel and next moment you're paying calls or whatever. I don't know how you do it and where the energy is coming from. Is this something you haven't told us, or is it something you have told us and you've not understood it right? What is it? The energies are limitless.
It's not limitless, sometimes I crash. For those of you who are doing very simple processes in the form of yogic systems, you yourself are experiencing just 2-3 months of practice, it's putting you in a different league of energy compared to people around you. If you put enough years into it, or if you put enough intensity and involvement into it, it will do that. There's nothing superhuman about this. This is just human. Human being, if he is exuberant and involved, I'm saying involved, not entangled, involved with the process of life, that's how it will be. Have you noticed with yourself, on a certain day, let's say there's no yoga, nothing in your life, but on a certain day, you're extremely happy and joyful about something. That day you don't need food, you don't need sleep, nothing, you're just on and on and on. Have you noticed this? Have you noticed this? Why on other days you're running out of your battery so soon? Because uninvolved life. For me, every moment is like, if there is somebody here, nobody here. My life is like an ongoing first-time love affair. If I sit here and breathe or eat or do something, I'm like going on all the time with everything. To tell you a simple process of this, we did this with a few people a few months ago when we were in the United States. We had a 90-day program. I told them, see, if you keep yourself, if you just listen to me, I can reduce your food, whatever you're eating, to 30% of what you're eating and still be as active and not lose weight. That's it, SadhGuru, not possible, and all doctors in the program, not possible, calorie like this, fat like this, that will happen, this will happen. I said, it doesn't matter. You want to try. Then we put them through this simple process and said, just be like this, on. You will see you'll not lose weight. You will eat only 30% of the food that you're eating and you'll be wonderfully fine, because there is something called as receptivity. Life is receptivity. Coming back to borderless ignorance, ignorance is receptivity, isn't it? Awareness of ignorance is receptivity, isn't it so? Yes? This life, as you sit here, your body is not a solid thing, it's an ongoing process. Your mind is not some kind of solid state, it is an ongoing process. It is only receptivity which empowers your mind for sure, isn't it? And it's only receptivity which empowers your body. If you sit here, you're not aware of it. The moment I tell you, you will be aware of it, you are inhaling and exhaling. That means constantly you're receiving and receiving. If you say, no, I am not such a slave to all these people, I don't want to inhale what all these people are inhaling and exhaling, and hold your breath, your life process will stop, isn't it? So this is receptivity. If your receptivity is really kept at its peak, 60% of all the energy that you generate that is needed for the body, to build the body, to run the body, comes from water, air and sunlight. Only 40% comes from the food that you eat. And if you make yourself little more open by doing certain other things, I'm saying just by normal joy, you don't know any yoga, you have not understood the mechanics of the body, what to do with it, to unleash other dimensions of energy. No, nothing you know, simply you're a joyful, passionate person. You will see your food quota will go down, your energy levels will go up. Every one of you have experienced this on certain days, isn't it so? Yes or no? Why is it you're not like that every day? Because you have set a prescription for yourself. Only if this happens, I will involve myself. With the rest, I will not involve myself. So, right now you're breathing without involvement, unconsciously. Heart beating, no involvement, unconsciously. This happened to me when I was just 17 years of age, because by then I had closed my eyes and particularly if I have to eat, even today my eyes will naturally close, I don't even have to think. If I have to drink water, my eyes will naturally close. Because on that day, I just took a morsel of food and put it in my mouth, it just exploded in my mouth. Something that is not me. So it was somewhere else. It came on my plate, I put it in my mouth. Now it's becoming me, right here. It doesn't even have to go digestion, right here in the very mouth region, what was not you is becoming you. Is this not love affair? The whole love affair is just this, trying to include somebody as a part of you desperately. Not working very well, but you try. Isn't it? Isn't that what a love affair is? You're trying to include somebody as a part of yourself, this is your love affair, isn't it? So this is something, not even a human being, some other life, a vegetable, something else, comes here and willingly becoming a part of you. To what extent it becomes a part of you depends upon your receptivity. Not everybody will get the same stuff of the same food that they eat. Two healthy people, if they are given the same nutrition and keep them in different states of mind, these experiments have been done. You keep one person happy, keep another person unhappy, you will see what he receives from the food. Happy person, what he receives, unhappy person, what he receives is very different. That's one dimension of receptivity. There are other dimensions of this. In yoga, we say, your spine is the center of the universe. That looks like too presumptuous a thing to say, I am the center of the universe means you are some kind of a megalo, yes? But we say it is Merudanda, it is the axis of the universe. Why this is being said is, your experience of life is all being generated from your spine. You know the world only the way you experience it. And this experience is generated by your system, not by the world. You see me right now? Yes? You think you see me here on stage, it's not true. Actually, this light falls upon me, reflects and goes into your, through your lenses, inverted image in the retina, you know the story. If it falls in the retina, from there, in your brain, it breaks up into 14 different parts. Right now you're seeing me in 14 different places in your brain. One place you're seeing only the color, in another place the texture, in another place the form, like this it goes on. It's digitally broken and you're seeing it actually in 14 places, but in your experience it looks like it's one. Now, this is receptivity. When I say this is receptivity, it is not just what goes in, but how it impacts you inside is your receptivity. Everybody takes in oxygen, carbon dioxide, not everybody can receive the same stuff. If you sit here and simply breathe, if I go to a new place, the first thing I do is I simply sit like this. Everything significant that's happened in that place, if it's of any spiritual significance, I immediately know, because it's just there. The memory of the land, the memory of the rocks, the memory of the trees, it's all simply there because everything, all the five elements have strong sense of memory, billions of years of memory. Now, receptivity is on many different levels. There's a beautiful incident in Vivekananda's life. Swami Vivekananda went to Europe and he was staying with a philosopher. You know his name? What's his name? It's a German philosopher. So he was his guest and after dinner they met in the study and there was a huge book on his table. Vivekananda said, can you give me this book? Let me give it for an hour, let me read it and see what's in it. Because the German philosopher was speaking such great things about the book. The German philosopher laughed, how can you read it in an hour? I've been reading it for months. And it's in German language, it's not in English, you can't read. Vivekananda said, it doesn't matter, give it to me, let me see. So he was given the book, he placed it between his two hands and just sat like this for an hour. Then he gave it back and said, it's not of any significance. He said, this is rubbish, this is arrogance at its peak. You do not even open the book and you dare to make a comment about the book. Then Vivekananda said, you ask me any page, what you want. So page 632, what? Verbatim, he repeats. Any page, you name the page, he will just repeat it verbatim. That man was just awestruck. He said, how is this possible? He said, that's why I am Vivekananda. Viveka means perception, His name is Narendra. His guru called him Vivekananda because he saw he's of that level of perception. So perception and receptivity are not two different things. Receptivity, if it is increased, perception will naturally increase. If perception is high, receptivity will be naturally high. So from the same morsel of food, what one person receives, what another person receives is very, very different. Apart from that, this being the center of the universe is not a wrong thing. See, in you saying my spine is the axis or the center of the universe, nothing wrong because nobody knows where the boundary is anyway. Yes? When you do not know where the boundary is, it is possible that you could be the center, isn't it? That is another thing, but the center of your experience is your spine. And your universe is just the way you experience it, you don't know anything else, isn't it? Yes or no? The way you perceive and experience this universe, that's all you know. And this is the center of that. So my spine is the center of the universe. And if I activate it, it just receives everything directly. So a yogi just sits there, simply sits there for days on end, doesn't lose weight, has not taken on anything, no input, but still doesn't lose weight, because perception and receptivity is on many different levels. I had a great-grandmother who lived up to be 113, 113 years of age. I have seen her only when she was over 100 years of age. So she was like this, she used to live by herself elsewhere and she used to come when we used to go as children to my grandfather's place. And in the morning if you give her breakfast, she would first take it and where she look for the ants, where some ants are there, some squirrels are there, sparrows don't exist anymore. but there used to be lots of sparrows for sparrows everywhere. Almost 3/4 of her food she'll give it away. And she'll just watch the ants eating. Tears will be running down her cheeks and somebody will come and say, "You old woman, if you don't eat, you throw food all over the place, you will die." All these people who gave nutritional advice to her, they all died. She never died. She lived up to be 113. She buried her children, her grandchildren, a few of her great-grandchildren, but she lived on, okay? And she would sometimes just keep that food aside and she says, "I'm already full." When I was just 5, 6 years of age, I just thought this is some emotional rubbish, this old woman is just emotional, she loves the ants maybe because they have not bitten her yet. But it took me many years to realize this, that this is not emotional stuff. In her experience, if the ants ate, she ate and her body was nourished. She was so much one with it that if they ate, her body got nourished, she didn't have to eat. The day it happened, she doesn't eat. The day it doesn't happen, she eats. So I'm saying, your ideas of what is your energy, what is somebody's energy, what is this energy, that energy, are happening because of the logical mind. You divided the existence. That's not how the existence is happening. Today modern physics is proving to you without any doubt, as you sit here, every single atom in this body is right now in active communication with just everything in the cosmos. When this is so, why will you run out of energy? Only if you're oblivious of it, isn't it?
I'd like to ask, what is happening within you that is not happening within us?
What is happening within me? Right now, what's happening within me, or the way it's happening within me. Life only is happening within me, life only is happening within you. But the way it's happening within me right now, I will not exchange this for anything. If you give me the whole world, I won't make a deal. That's how big it is. We are breathing the same air, probably we eat the same kind of food, we live in the same place, but this is how different it can be. Right now, two people are sitting next to each other. One person is in an utter state of depression, another person is exuberantly happy. That itself is phenomenally worlds apart, isn't it so? I'm just trying to give you one understanding because this is something that you have experienced. Have you not experienced this? You are very excited and happy, somebody sitting next to you miserable. Have you not seen this? Or maybe the other way around whichever way. So you know that human experience can fluctuate from here to there, isn't it? And it can go way beyond that. So if you ask what is happening, see, there is a certain process of life right now for you. That is, everything in your life happens in comparison, in the sense, because senses can perceive only in comparison. Because you've seen darkness, you know what's light. Because you have tasted this, you know that. If there is no context for you, you will not know anything, because sense organs need a context always. The reason why people are so afraid of darkness is not because darkness is dangerous. It is not because darkness is dangerous that they're afraid. They're afraid of darkness because they have no context suddenly, isn't it? Isn't it so? Now it's this you know. Now there is no this, there's only this. You need two for the mind to feel comfortable. So because of this, you created many things, up and down, good and bad, forward and backward, all this. But none of these things you actually know. You do not know what is up, what is down, isn't it so? Does anybody know what is up and down in this cosmic space? Huh? Is it somewhere written this side up? Nobody knows which is up, which is down, isn't it? Nobody knows what is forward, what is backward. But you have one context right now which is properly established. What is inward, what is outward, this you know clearly. This you must exercise. This is the only true context you have, everything else is imaginary, please see this. Up and down is imaginary, this and that is imaginary. This one thing is definitely there as real for you, isn't it? Inward, outward. You must exercise this constantly because that is an important part of spiritual growth. In case tomorrow morning, if it so happened that you got enlightened, you will lose this context. Even this will be gone. You will not know which is inside, which is outside. You will not know which is you, which is not you. That's why I'm running around the world like this, not knowing which is me and which is not me. I do not know whether that is me or this is me, because everything that happens there happens to me also. So, that is phenomenal, and maybe people think it's scary. It is scary only because you're thinking in the small mind all this will happen. No, it'll not happen like that. There is no context to it to tell you what it is. When it happened to me and I'm trying to shake my head and come to some kind of conclusion, because I cannot believe that I'm not smart enough to figure what's happening to me. I can't stand that, Because when I was young, one thing I could not stand was stupidity. I'm just allergic to it, I'll flare up.